Welcome to all the volunteers to the latest CEO volunteer update. Many of you over the last week would have watched Go Back to Where You Came From on SBS. I would love to hear your feedback and thoughts on how did it impact on you in terms of your understanding of asylum seekers, and most importantly on family and friends that you might have watched it with. If you missed the series, it's all available free online, all 3 episodes, and I really encourage you to watch it. What Go Back did was remind us all about the work of the Asrc, how important it is, and about how the Centre continues to champion genuine alternatives to offshore processing and mandatory detention, which is community-based processing of asylum seekers, a focus on investing in them, a focus on ensuring there is a safety net, pathways in education, training and employment. The Asrc is going to continue to champion this alternative vision, the idea that there's a humane way forward. We've been spending a lot of time at the moment championing against offshore processing. The Asrc opposes it in all forms. We believe that Nauru and Manus Island are not going to save lives, are a waste of money, and most importantly are illegal. That simple idea about you do not protect the rights of refugees by denying them protection. Under the Nauru plan, we're about to spend $2.2 million a person to send someone there. That's almost the entire Asrc budget for a year. We're sending into one of the poorest countries on earth where they will be, for all intensive purposes, held hostage. They'll never be resettled. You've also got, on top of that, a place that is unsafe, no sanitation, no proper running water. To even rebuild those detention centres means moving the local primary school, women's refuge, housing for the disabled, and appropriating the local kitchen useful by the local hospital. I mean, that's what we're doing as one of the richest countries on earth. So the Centre will keep championing and arguing about we should be investing in processing people quicker, more resources into UNHCR, further expanding our refugee and humanitarian intake, and not politicising this issue. It's been deeply disappointing. 2 major stories this week were the Abbott government coming out and saying all Tamils shouldn't even be processed, they should just be sent back when they come from Sri Lanka because the war is over. This contradicts what every leading human rights organisation from Amnesty International to Human Rights Watch is saying, which is that the situation for Tamils remains dangerous. To have a potential future government sit there and say we shouldn't even process them and should just send them back home shows the flagrant contempt for human rights. On the other hand, you had the Gillard government come out criticising it, only to come out with a ridiculous no advantage video, spending some $200,000 of our money to create some stupid video trying to scare off asylum seekers. All I wait for now is the equipping of each of them with Wi-Fi and an iPad so they can watch this. And within that, they even targeted one specifically at Sri Lankans, which was constant images of watching Sri Lankans being put onto minivans and onto planes to be deported back. Is that the way in which we should be educating people about their protection obligations and their rights? This was further worsened by Bob Carr coming out this week and saying, if we're not tough now, because Nauru's a failure already, in terms of numbers that are coming according to their indicators of success, 180,000 a year will come. Like, that is whistleblowing at its worst. The minister knows the most we've had in any given year is 6,555. At the moment, going 2011, the number of people we had that were refugees, asylum seekers, or people of concern was 28,000 in total, of concern. You contrast that to Germany, which had over 600,000, including people of concern, and countries like the UK, France, Canada, which all had between 200 to 250,000, let alone Pakistan with 2.1 million, and Iran with close behind at number 2. We're busily out there continuing to myth bust and educate. On a personal CEO front, I've been putting a lot of my energy into just making sure that I'm out there campaigning and being a positive face for the Centre and telling the other side about what's really happening. Last week I was at St. Francis Parish talking to a wonderful group of people who are local church really committed to supporting asylum seekers. On Friday I was speaking to about 50 young people, about 75 young people down in Coburg for Amnesty International with a youth program. Tonight I'm speaking at an art auction, Art with Heart, which is a great art fundraiser for the Centre. On Friday I'm down at La Trobe University speaking at Next Generation Youth Forum. So we're very busily making sure we're out there providing the positive stories, the alternatives. A couple of quick things to let you know about. There's a fundraiser coming up called Key of the Sea that's on September the 13th at Toffin Town. 60% of this great CD, which is Australian musicians like Paul Kelly, come together with asylum seekers, will end up going to the Asrc. It's still not too late to run for refugees, so I'm encouraging you to sign up. And if you're signed up, promote and plug and ask people to participate. And if you're on Twitter or Facebook, follow the Asrc as well and get behind us and share myth busting and all the latest that's going on. Have a fantastic rest of the week, everyone. Thank you very much. Cheers.